Hello, dear friends. I am in summer vacation and I came to a teacher's training, got a lot of new ideas, and particularly today I went to a training, went to a session. There was a speaker. It's very inspiring. And if all our educators has this passion, and he's really a good example. I am not so good at talking, but you can hear from this gentleman. Kevin, hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah.
I'm honored.
Yeah, so I am mostly touched about your passion for just to bring the best of students.
Yeah.
You must have a lot of story to tell us and the difficulties you overcome and how you became so just come to the stage to
Yeah.
such.
Well, I'm always surprised at how much my students can do, the amazing things that my students are capable of when I give them the freedom to pursue projects that have a purpose in their lives and in their community. So what happened was a few years ago, I learned a lot about what was going on with Google and why they were such an innovative company. And one of the things that they do to foster innovation in their culture is that they provide their employees resources and time to pursue projects that they're really interested in, that serve a real purpose. And that's where some of Google's most valuable services come from. And so when I learned about that, I thought, well, I want to get the most out of my students. And I don't know what they're capable of. Traditionally, I would give them an assignment and many of them would complete it. But those assignments sometimes just had a ceiling, like there was some limit to the best that they could do. But so I provided my students some time and resources to work on a project of their choosing that met a real world audience's needs. And so I gave them that time. And I was just amazed at what my students could produce on their own. They really did amazing things like work with nonprofits and helping them develop their websites. Or one student started a web design business and helped local businesses get their presence up on the web. And this kid became profitable in only a few months and is serving local businesses and helping them get websites that are up to date. Another student created an event that helped a library that had just experienced a fire. So, and these are all experiences that I could never have designed for my students. They designed it for themselves. All I did was give them a little bit of time to work on that.
So there are two things, there are many things I got inspired.
Yeah.
One is the bad idea factor. It's such a fun thing. Another thing is a 20% project. You can talk about that. That is really a fun thing.
So this program at Google is called 20% Time, and these are these independent projects that Google engineers take on. And so I invited my students to take 20% projects. And
why 20%?
Well, it's just a small portion of time. You know, that a portion of their time. So like 1 out of 5 days, they can work on their own project. So that's 20% of the time.
Yeah.
Now, 80% of the time, they're meeting my high, strict, rigorous standards that I need, the curriculum that I need to get through. But for 20% of the time, they're doing a lot of academic work, but they're pursuing their own interests, and they're serving an audience that is beyond my personal what I need in my class. It goes bigger than that.
Yeah.
But a lot of times when I offer my students the opportunity to pursue independent projects, a lot of students don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And so we would brainstorm ideas. But I often found that when we brainstormed, and the number one rule of brainstorming is there's no bad idea, right?
Yeah.
But I found that my students were still hesitant to come up with the kind of out-of-the-box ideas that brainstorming is intended to bring out. Because they don't want to look dumb in front of their peers. So they don't want to say a bad idea. Yeah. So in order to encourage that kind of divergent thinking, I instead of just allowing my students to come up with bad ideas, I mandated that they come up with bad ideas. Yeah. So I had a session in my class called the Bad Idea Factory, where they had to come up with as many bad ideas as they could. And excuse me, it was really a fun project. They had a lot of fun, lots of laughing, and really they come up with some awful ideas.
Yeah.
But a lot of times those bad ideas are actually become good ideas, and they are able to come up with some amazing ideas by opening their brains into other possibilities.
Yeah. For example, the bad idea is that wheelchair? Or
Yeah, one boy who wanted to come up with a bad idea said, all right, I'm going to spend a week or a month in a wheelchair. And immediately everyone said, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. And, excuse me.
Sorry.
But, so then he produced this amazing project that helped make our campus more accessible to people in wheelchairs through that experience of being on a wheelchair in our campus. It was
Yes.
really cool.
Yes. And also, I came to this place with zero passion.
Yeah.
Because early in the morning, Sunday morning,
Yeah,
and
right.
why do I come here and to listen to a person that was not as famous as a big guy?
Right.
You are famous now,
Yeah.
I know. So a lot of time, even I do in my class with students, they have zero passion.
Right.
How you bring that out? From what I have seen you have done, you just allow them to make mistake, to be silly, to play around
That's right.
with something that bring it. There is no boundary.
That's right.
And you are truly not making a boundary of that.
That's right. There's no ceiling on what they can accomplish.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing. And the thing is, a lot of my students come to me without any passion.
Yeah.
And so, okay, I can't create your passion.
Yeah.
But what I do is help them find a purpose.
Yeah.
And find some way where they can do something that has real value that helps people in their community.
Yes.
And then I found that passion
Yeah.
follows purpose.
Exactly.
And they become passionate. It's
Yeah.
pretty amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just such a fascinating talk from
Thank you.
Maybe we will follow up with some. If people have questions or ideas, I will link to you and forward to you. You will do the answer.
I'd be honored to hear back from your audience.
Thank you very much. So at the beginning of his speech, I came to his speech with zero passion, and at the end, I changed. I become so motivated that I decided to make such a video of him. So the 20% project is using 20% of the time. I think it's a brilliant idea. And we have our time dedicated to the things we have to do, and use 20% of the time to do something that our heart wants to do. And it will be very powerful if we are allowed the freedom to do something that's really close to our heart. We will have a more meaningful life and more interesting life. Too much wind. So one of his bad idea factories came from these people intimidated of losing their faith and do not. They had a brainstorm session and not much idea came out. Then he decided to make a bad idea factory. Everybody has to make a bad idea, so students write down the bad idea. I can totally envision how the classroom became. And there were several bad ideas. One student said, how about I pretend to get pregnant and see how people treat me? Not a bad idea at all. And another student said, how about I sit in wheelchair bound for 1 month and see what will happen. And then students said, it's not a bad idea, and he did. Every day came to school on wheelchair, and then he realized the road was bumpy and not wheelchair accessible, and found all the inconvenient place, have to go to classroom and look for to make room for him. He found so many inconvenient place and uncomfortable place, and finally, at the end of the project, there was a picture of him standing in a road, a paved road. So he spent the rest of his school year, he graduated, the rest of his school year to improve the wheelchair accessibility. So it became such a wonderful and productive thing. So many things, so many possibilities. Give yourself the freedom to be yourself, to think, to brave yourself, and the sky is the limit. Look at the beautiful sky. I wish you a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day, and enjoy your time. I use 20% of my vacation and did such a training. It is the most rewarding. Bye-bye, friends. I love you. I really do. If you have any comments about this video, I will forward to Kevin, this gentleman. Bye-bye, friends.